Overtime is brought to you by Happy Marts, a division of Coleman Oil, by the Walter P. Walters Insurance Agency, Pikeville, by Pauley Building Center, Lowe's Sporting Goods, Alice Lloyd College, and by Big D Excavating, Betsy Lane.
Welcome to the final sports overtime of the 1989-90 high school sports season. I'm Jay Crawford.
And I'm Roger Redmond. Coming up in the next half hour, we're going to take you back through the entire high school sports year to look at some of the accomplishments turned in by our mountain high schools.
Whether it was football or basketball, once again, Roger, the Mountains had some outstanding teams that finished quite well in the state tournaments.
Back in August, we began our coverage of high school football every Friday night. There were some 2,000 games played in the mountains last year, and again, the competition was fierce. Here's a look back at high school football in the mountains from 1989.
The 1989 football season further established the eastern Kentucky area as a hotbed of high school talent. The Pikeville Panthers became the first team in Kentucky history in any class to win 3 consecutive state championships. But the Panthers weren't the only bright spot in the mountains in a very productive year. Class AAA was particularly strong, with several teams achieving lofty rankings at season's end. One of them, the Bell County Bobcats, who came storming out of the gate to earn recognition as a legitimate threat in Class 3A. Coach Dudley Hilton led his troops to an impressive opening night victory over Lexington Tates Creek, and that started the ball rolling to an undefeated regular season.
I came here 6 years ago that I wanted to make Bell County well known in football, not just in eastern Kentucky. And we played western Kentucky teams. We played teams close to Louisville, Lexington schools, northern schools, and, you know, this is what we worked for.
The Bobcat season came to an end in the first round of the playoffs when they were knocked off by Covington Catholic. After a slow start in which they dropped 3 of their first 4 games, the Belfry Pirates regrouped and in Week 5 showed their slow start was a fluke. On September 23rd, Coach Philip Haywood led his team against Pikeville with the Panthers' 33-game winning streak on the line. The Pirates turned the corner that night. Belfry prevailed against their old rival 33-24 behind a great performance by running back Dale Oliver.
The Pikeville win definitely was a big win for us. We needed to beat somebody, and we needed to beat a good team, and Pikeville just happened to be in line that week, and we played extremely well.
Belfry would not lose again until the state semifinals when they were edged out by eventual state champ Fort Thomas Highlands 21-14 in overtime up in northern Kentucky. While Bell County and Belfry were climbing the Class AAA ladder, Mike Holcomb's Breathitt County Bobcats were too much for everyone on their schedule. Breathitt took on all comers during the regular season and came out on top every time, including a 7-point win at Belfry. The Bobcats and district rival Clay County were on a collision course in Week 7. Both teams were undefeated coming in, and it took a last-second field goal, but Breathitt County prevailed 15-13. It was the first undefeated season in Breathitt history.
I think that being the first playoff win in our history of our school and being the first team to go 12-0, that now we know we can just go out and play and we don't have to listen to, well, you might get, you know, you're undefeated, but you might blow the game. I think that's gone.
Breathitt's dream season ended when Belfry avenged its regular season loss to the Bobcats with a 24-13 regional championship victory. There were other playoff success stories in the mountains. Coach Jack Eicher continued to build a winning foundation at Laurel County. The Cards were 9-2 in Class 4A and made a playoff appearance. Tim Saylor led the Kaywood Trojans to a postseason berth in his first season there. Things never seem to change at some schools. The Corbin Redhounds made another appearance in the Class 2A playoffs, including a 27-6 first-round win over the Whitesburg Yellow Jackets. It was also a bountiful year in Class A. Bergie, Cumberland, and Hazard all made it to the playoffs, but suffered first-round defeats. Hazard bowed out after a 10-6 setback at State Power Beechwood. Pineville and Paintsville both had strong years, picking up playoff wins. Paintsville, led by quarterback Jeremy Holbrook, a Moorhead State signee, took Beechwood right down to the wire before losing on the road. Again this season, however, the story of mountain football was the Pikeville Panthers. After suffering their first loss in 34 games, the Panthers would not taste defeat again. Led by running back Steve Bailey, Pikeville never met a serious challenge. Coach Hillard Howard had his share of stars on the club. His son, quarterback Jason, was among the state's leading passers. Linebacker Mickey Webster, a UK signee, was chosen to the All-State first team, as was offensive end Jason Justice. Lineman Jeff Roop was a second-team selection. The Panthers capped off their tremendous season with a 20-7 win over Trigg County in the state title game in Louisville.
This team improved every game, and I'm just so tickled with them that I can't explain how I feel about it.
We've won this 3 years in a row. No other team's ever done it, and I hope they can do it next year.
All-state choices weren't limited to Pikeville players. Corbin standouts Joel Carpenter, an offensive lineman, and Corey Reeves, a linebacker, were also first-teamers. Other second-team choices included Pineville running back Mike Duvall, Lindcamp nose guard David Licklider, Bell County linebacker Billy Jenkins, and another Corbin Redhound, defensive back Brent Kennedy.
And what a great year it was for high school football in the mountains.
It certainly was, Roger, a great year. It wasn't a bad year at all either for mountain basketball. We'll look at round ball just ahead, but let's lead you into this break with some video memories of Pikeville's fine season.
That big chemical company knew it was doing wrong, and our little boy paid for their mistakes. If it weren't for the help and counsel we got from Pitla, their army of lawyers would have walked all over us. Pitla told us our rights and took that company to court. No amount of money will bring back our son's health 100%, but now his medical bills won't be another problem for our family. You can count on the experience of Pitla's attorneys.
Call 1-800-63-PITLA. Pitla will fight for what's rightfully yours.
Everyone has an opinion. Some say opinions are a dime a dozen. This is Charlie Wilson, and I've never been considered too timid to voice my opinion on certain subjects, and neither should you. Join me each Thursday evening immediately after the 6 and 11 o'clock news for Charlie Wilson's commentary. I'll touch on issues which affect you. Sometimes you may agree, sometimes you won't, but it should spark an idea or provoke a thought. Charlie Wilson's commentary, Thursday evening right after the 6 and 11 o'clock news.
When the mining is done, it's time for Big D Excavating to finish the job. Big D is a complete reclamation company with specialized equipment for reclamation and the rebuilding of high walls, plus hydro seeding. Big D also has equipment for rent or lease, including dozers, excavators, and hydro seeders, with or without operators. Call today for a free estimate or for equipment rental rates. For a big finish, call Big D Excavating in Betsy Lane.
Every day, we make a decision of where to buy gasoline. Happy Mart would like to thank you for making them the #1 choice. So each time you get a fill-up of 8 gallons or more, you'll receive a free Happy Mart car wash from the South Mayo Trail location, the Plaza location, the Green Meadows Happy Mart, the Meta location, and the new Twin Bay car wash at South Williamson. So after you fill up, be sure to get your free wash from any one of our 5 convenient car wash locations. Happy Mart, taking care of you.
Welcome back to Sports Overtime. Basketball season was again a grand time in the mountains. Clay County continued their dominance of the 13th region and the WYMT Mountain Classic. But the inception of the All-A Classic gave some smaller schools their first chance at glory. Along with the All-A Classic, the WYMT Mountain Classic has turned into an annual event that crowns the best from the mountains each year. Once again, the field had the top teams from the 13th, 14th, and 15th regions, and you had to look long and hard to find any action all season better than the semifinals of the Mountain Classic. First semifinal game, the top team from the 13th, Clay County, against the tops from the 14th, Hazard. It came right down to the wire, but with time running down, Hazard needed a 3. David Alexander's shot was just off the mark. Clay County advanced with a 77-75 thriller. Second semifinal game, just as exciting. Corbin rated second in the 13th, Owsley second in the 14th. Owsley controlled the tempo most of the game, but with time slipping away, Tommy Stewart throws up the baseline jumper before the buzzer. Corbin moves on to the championship game with the 88-87 win. So in the finals, it was an all 13th region clash once again. Clay County against rival Corbin, but this time, once again, for the 3rd straight year, Clay County just a a little too strong. They win 78-63. Corbin finishes second.
Corbin has a great basketball team, one of the best that we've played this year, and it was a struggle right down to the end. I think it came down to a matter of who was going to foul their people out. We had 4 out there with 4, and they had 5 with 4, and I think we'll see them again in the regional tournament. I think it'll be another great basketball game.
In the consolation finals, a 14th region battle, Hazard against Owsley County, and this was all Bulldogs. They avenge an earlier loss, 91-60. Hazard finishes in 3rd place.
We fought Clay County tooth and toenail last night. It took everything our kids had, and then they come out and show this much life. You know, we are a contender for this region.
Just 2 weeks after the Mountain Classic, it was time for the inaugural All-A Classic. The Mountain representatives were thrilled to win their respective regions. Harlan in the 13th, Owsley County from the 14th, and Pikeville wins the 15th.
Our program has been coming on, and I think we finally got the respect back that we lacked so long. And I think we're for real. And I think that this team is #1 in this region, and I think it's going to contend for the overall regional title as well.
Pikeville ran into a buzzsaw right out of the chute. The Panthers were the 2nd-rated Class A team in the state, but their first-round opponent, top-rated University Heights. In the end, Sergio Luke and company were just a little too strong. Pikeville steps out in the opening round, losing 82-64. Harlan's first-round opponent was Fairview out of the 16th region in a game that came right down to the final ticks. Mo Hollingsworth for Harlan had 29 points. That proved to be the difference. Harlan wins their opener 70-69. Their next opponent, the Owsley County Owls, because in a mild upset, the Owls avenged an earlier loss to Lexington Catholic from the 11th region. Jeff Moore was brilliant, scoring 21 Owsley County points. They advanced 55-50. So the quarterfinal round was an all-mountain matchup. Harlan and Owsley County, and it was a barn burner. Jeff Moore was burning the nets again. He had 34 for Owsley County. Harlan, though, would drop by the wayside. Owsley County wins 74-70.
I was scared all the way through this thing. We had a pretty good lead at times. It always made a run. It always getting close. We had people in foul trouble all day long. I'm just very happy to be able to go and play tomorrow and things.
So the Owls were now just 1 step away from the championship game, and they would not be denied. Next victim, Maysville, 60-56 in the semifinals, and the Owls were going for the first ever All-A state title. But in the end, it was not to be. U Heights was just too tall and too talented. The Owls settled for 2nd place, losing 75-59 in the finals. Jeff Moore was the tourney's MVP.
We're just tickled to death that we played as well as we did. We're disappointed that we didn't win. Anytime you come this far, you want to take the next step. But I told them there's no losers here tonight. We played well, and we're real pleased with the effort they gave.
Other mountain area stars receiving all tournament honors, Owsley County's Craig Marshall and Harold Creech, along with Harlan superstar Mo Hollingsworth. Basketball season was so long, we needed 2 segments to fit in the rest of the season.
So when Sports Overtime returns, we'll look at both the boys and girls state tournaments. But first, more video memories, this time of the All-A Classic. Keep it here.
Hazard Pavilion and Mike's Fitness Center will be holding a spring bench press contest Saturday, April 21st at 1 p.m. at the Hazard Pavilion. Pick up your entry forms and send to Levin Cox, care of Hazard Pavilion, 700 Main Street, Hazard, Kentucky, 41701, or call the Pavilion at 436-4112 or 436-4200, or Mike's Fitness Center at 436-0111 for more information. Entry deadline is April 15th. Hazard Pavilion, Mike's Fitness Center, Spring Bench Press Contest, sponsored by the Citizens Bank of Hazard. Pick up your entry forms today.
I love the sun coming up over the hill. Makes me feel good knowing I'm home. I love the mist rising from its riverbed, Kentucky. Kentucky mountains fill me with pride.
You know mountain people aren't always coming home, 'cause the heart can't stay away from the beauty of the land or a neighbor's helping hand. We're here with you, sharing the pride of home. We're Mountain Television, WYMT. The mountains have seen hard times and good times, but we always see them through. We'll be here to keep us close, 'cause mountain people stay in touch. We're your Mountain Television, sharing all there is to see. Stories of home, the world we've come to know. We're here with you, sharing the pride of home. We're your Mountain Television, WYMT. Sharing the pride of home.
Travel throughout this great region of ours, and we're all around you, taking you from town to town, county to county, even state to state. We're Mountain Enterprises Incorporated, and we can handle all of your asphalt paving needs. With 20 years of experience, Mountain Enterprises has a total of 21 asphalt plants in operation. Locations like Perry, Letcher, Harlan, Floyd, Pike, Lawrence, Lewis, Martin, Boyd, and Carter counties, plus plants in West Virginia, too. Along with being state qualified, we can also pave stockpile areas for coal operators to prevent product loss. Call Mountain Enterprises today for all of your asphalt paving needs.
Welcome back to the show. You know, every year the girls' play in the mountains is up to that of any area in the state, and 1989 and 90 was no exception. Last season it was Clay County winning it all. This year it was Elkhorn City coming awfully close.
The races for the championships of the 13th and 14th regions were wide open this season, while two of the state's best teams called the 15th region home. The 13th region tournament featured many close contests. Knox Central made a run at the crown, led by All-Stater and Auburn signee Kim Mays, but the Lady Panthers fell to Bell County by a point in the semifinals, despite 36 from Mays. In the title tilt, defending state champ Clay County earned a trip to Bowling Green with a narrow decision over Bell's Lady Bobcats. The 14th region tournament was a complete toss-up with any number of teams capable of winning it. But in the end, defending champ Fleming Neon nipped intra-county rival Whitesburg on a late free throw to reach the Sweet 16. In the 15th, Elkhorn City and Sheldon Clark met in the semifinals after jockeying back and forth in the rankings all season long. Elkhorn knocked off the Lady Cards, setting up a title match with Johnson Central, who proved to be no match for the Lady Cougars. It was Hello Diddle Arena for Coach B.J. Ellswick and Elkhorn City. The Mountains were well represented in the big show at Bowling Green. Fleming Neon's Lady Pirates surprised everyone but themselves by forcing Louisville Manual to the wire before dropping a 48-47 decision.
We wanted to represent our district and our region well, and I felt like we did that, although this group of girls probably wanted to win as much as any group I've ever seen.
The next night, a young Clay County team gave favored Louisville Southern all they could handle before running out of gas and falling out of the tourney 67-55 the final. Elkhorn City was the lone mountain hope left, and the Lady Cougars weren't about to make it a short stay. In the first round, guards Stacy Spake and Julie Belcher were hitting on all cylinders as the Lady Cougars built up a big lead and eliminated Nelson County 65-53. In the quarterfinal round, Ellswick led his team against Clark County of the 10th region. In the waning seconds of this one, Spake came up with a big steal, and off the miss, Barbara Mullins follows it in. 54-51, Elkhorn City goes to the semifinals. But that's where the Lady Cougars' run ended. Louisville Southern pulled out a 50-48 squeaker on the strength of some late free throws by Michelle Burden.
We had a dream, and we wanted to come through with it, but it came to an abrupt halt for us. I thought our kids went down with a fight. I'll tell you right now, I could not be more proud of this group of kids than anybody in America.
The boys' state tournament was once again back in Louisville's Freedom Hall, and the Mountain representatives, well, they had a little of the old and a lot of the new.
The regional tournaments were loaded with upsets this season. In the 13th region, Corbin was nipped by Bell County in the semifinals. In the 15th, co-favorites Pikeville and Magoffin County both went by the wayside in the opening round. Only the 14th region was without a major upset, where for the first time in school's history, Leslie County made it to the Sweet 16. Another first was Belfry winning the 15th region. A talented group of underclassmen took the Pirates to the big show for the first time ever. And some things remain the same. For the 7th straight time, Clay County grabbed the crown in the 13th region. In Louisville's Freedom Hall, the Belfry Pirates found the surroundings a little awesome. They never overcame the jitters, and the Pirates had a rough opening round game against Clark County. The Cardinals dropped the Pirates 81-50.
I think if they had left us alone out there and let us shoot them, we could have made maybe a little bit better than that. But you have to credit their defense. They did a great job. I don't think it's all really hit me. Walking down the foyer area to come on into the game tonight, I had the chill bumps, and I was feeling, I felt good. And it's a great experience, and everybody should enjoy this one time.
But the other two mountain area teams would have parties in the opening round to move to the quarterfinals. Clay County, as expected, dumped Danville, but the score was somewhat of a surprise. An 80-59 convincing 21-point win. But the real surprise of the opening round came from the Leslie County Eagles. A 12-point underdog to Henderson County, the Eagles soared high behind Joey Caldwell and Bill Wells' red-hot shooting. They win over Henderson 75-70.
The feeling is unbelievable for these kids to come down here, and we felt like that we'd accomplished a lot by being the first team to ever win the 14th region from our school. The only thing I asked them to do was to play with confidence and be themselves. And if they could play with that and really enjoy themselves, and that's all we could ask. And good things happen.
Next up for Leslie County, neighboring Clay County in the quarterfinals. The game was close most of the way. Leslie County led by 4 at one point, but as the Eagles found foul trouble, Clay County found the going a little easier. The Tigers pulled away down the stretch to a 76-66 quarterfinal win. So for the 4th time in 5 years, Clay County was in the semifinals. But this time, the results were not very friendly. Louisville Fairdale's squad was too deep and too talented. Despite the game being tied early in the 3rd quarter, Clay's big guns fouled out, and Fairdale ended the Tigers season 84-71.
Right now I'm disappointed because I was hoping we could make it to the state finals, maybe be a state champion. But you have to be proud of what these boys have accomplished. To end up 31-2, had to lose to 2 great basketball teams in E-Town and Fairdale, to be champions of the region, to end up in the Final Four in the state. It's a real compliment to our seniors. It's a real compliment to the Clay County program. I just wish we could have done a little bit more for Clay County and a little bit more for the Mountains.
Another great year for Mountain teams, Roger, and I guess we'll have to wait another 6 weeks to find out if this will be Clay County coach Bobby Keith's final season.
We'll wrap up our final sports overtime of the season in a few minutes.
But once again, here's some more of the pictures captured by our cameras at last week's state tournament.
Southeast Marine is geared up, shined up, and ready to sell.
Hi, I'm Dave Huff, and this is my brother Rex. We're co-owners of Southeast Marine in Corbin, Kentucky. We're Kentucky's largest fast tracker dealer, and we're ready to make a deal with you. Whatever your boat needs, from the smallest fishing boat to the largest pontoon, we have the boat of your dream.
We have over $1 million in tracker inventory.
We're your mountain connection for all your fishing boats and pontoon boats. Come see us at Southeast Marine. Let's go fishing.
At Wilson, Stanley & Fouts, we represent no companies. Justice for the working man, that's what we're about. If you have a lawsuit or a claim for Social Security disability, if you've been injured on the job, suspect that you have black lung, or hurt in an automobile accident, you can meet with an attorney from our offices for a free consultation, and we take most cases on a percentage.
Wilson, Stanley & Fouts. In Prestonsburg, call 886-8830. In Hyden, call 672-2526. And also in Lexington.
Great perm. Great price. At Sam's. Fantastic Sam's. The Perm Plus. Everything you expect, except the price. You don't need an appointment. We're waiting for you now.
We're all about to make history. When we answer the 1990 census, we'll be part of a 200-year-old tradition, and we'll be charting Eastern Kentucky's future. Accurate census numbers will help us plan for the next decade and beyond. Schools, hospitals, roads, community centers. Reserve your place in history. Answer the census. It counts for more than you think.
Tonight's show brings our second season of Sports Overtime to a close, but not to worry, we'll be back in late August every Friday night with high school football and then, of course, high school basketball.
Thank you to the coaches of every team and every sport that have helped to make our jobs just a little bit easier.
Also, thanks to everyone here at the station whose efforts made overtime the best it could be. The list of those that helped is endless, and without their devotion and dedication, it would be very difficult to bring you overtime into your living rooms every Friday night. Mostly thanks to you for watching. As we leave you, maybe the biggest story of the 89-90 season, the UK Wildcats and Pitino's Bombinos.
I'm Roger Redmond.
And I'm Jay Crawford. Thanks for watching, and good night.
This is Miller. He's 2 of 2 from there, 8 points for the night. Did you see what Sean? John Belfry goes out.
Pitino's Bombinos.
Here's a nice 3-pointer. That's Miller.
How hard those boys
first shot of the year.
diving and sliding all over the floor, shooting their threes, the crowd begging for more. Pitino's Bombinos. Jimmy and Tony, Eric, Darren, and John, Jeremiah and Michael, Jonathan, Skip, Jeff, and Sean. Everyone's doing their part of the team. From the start to the finish, they're picking up steam. Pitino's Bombinos. Pitino's Bombinos. We know and he knows how hard those boys try. Driving and flying all over the floor, shooting their threes, the crowd begging for more. Pitino's Bombinos. Ripped over Murray, guys, you're not tall, you're not fast, but if you just listen and do all the things that I ask, I don't care who we're playing, makes no difference to me. We'll press them all over and keep shooting threes. Pitino's Bombinos. Pitino's Bombinos. We know and know how hard those boys try, diving and sliding all over the floor, shooting their threes, the crowd begging for more. Pitino's Bombinos. Yes, they're diving and sliding all over the floor.